They gave me an interesting countdown. We started at 10 and then by 3 we had gone back to 5. But okay, hi, how are you? Thank you so very much at Hilda Odidi for that riveting conversation. We should just go green. That's what I got from the message. Aman Amlagani, my friend. Y254 on Facebook, at Y254 channel on Twitter. Hashtag is YintheMorning. Or you can find us on YouTube at Y254 channel as well. Click the little bell thing so you can get notifications when all the sauce comes out, and then subscribe so that you're the first to know. Yes, my name is Valentine, or at Kalamival, and today we're going to have a conversation. We're going to have it back and forth. So previously we gave you notice to give us questions to discuss on our Man Crush Monday, today the 8th of October, and you did not disappoint. You flooded us with messages, and what we did is we kind of put them together in a summary, so we're going to attack them accordingly. But before we do that, let's say hello to my panel of kings. Hi guys.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine.
What is your name?
My name is Ores Ongili. Yes.
Do you have social media platforms?
Yes.
Like
in Facebook, I'm Horace Hills. That one came way back in 2012. And then on Twitter, I'm Horace/Ongili. Yes.
Are you nervous?
Just a little bit.
A little bit?
Yes.
You want to shake it off? It's going to be okay.
Okay, fine.
I'll be gentle, I promise.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
What's your name?
Onyango Otoma.
Wow. Give me all 3 names just like
Yes.
that. Okay. Do you have social media handles?
Yes,
What
the
are
last 2 names. Onyango Otoma for all of them.
Okay. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah,
What do you
Onyango
do
Otoma.
for a living?
I work for World Peace Initiative as a regional coordinator, Eastern and Southern Africa, where we educate young people and even older people on self-development and inner peace. So generally, this is what I do full time. But I'm also an environmentalist with a bachelor's in environmental science and a master's in geographic information system.
Your CV is very long and impressive. Welcome to the show.
Thank
I
you
haven't
so
asked
much.
you what you do, but I'll come back to you, okay?
It's okay.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, I was watching an interview with Hilda and I was just amazed by everything. But I didn't catch your name, I'm sorry. What's your name?
Monk John.
Monk, that's
Yes.
it? That's very simple.
Yeah, this is like where I travel to different places. People call me just Monk John. Paramai, yes.
Ah, what's the last one again?
Paramai,
Paramai.
yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna fail with the accents a bit here, aren't I?
Just Monk John.
Yeah?
Very easy.
Thank you for the easy name. My name is Valentine. Welcome to the set. So basically what we do is we have conversations, and then usually to kind of put young boys' minds at ease. It's kind of like a help the younger generation kind of situation. So we pick on a topic and then kind of dissect it, and then we'll have feedback from the audience. But what we're going to do today is I already have a set of questions, and they're going to be up on your screens in a little bit, and then maybe we can advise them accordingly or give your opinion, either or. We ready? Okay. You ready? I can see. Are you ready? I was going to tell you the text line, but that doesn't exist anymore. So Y254 on Facebook, at Y254 channel on Twitter, hashtag is YintheMorning. So as you put up the graphics for that, I want to pick the first question. My partner has a close friends of the opposite sex. How am I supposed to handle it? Who do I want to start with? Monk John. But wait, your culture, okay? What do you think about this question? How would you put this in perspective? So you have a partner, let's say he has a very close friend who's a girl. That's not the way it's supposed to be, is it? Hold it.
Can I?
Yes, please.
Share a little bit? If the question is, my partner has a
So that would be your
close
girlfriend, yes.
my partner has a close friends of the opposite sex. How can I? How
are you
am I
supposed to handle it?
To handle this?
Yeah. Would you be okay with it?
It depends. You know, it depends. To me, for me, it will be okay. So what happens is people are a lot of times attached to things, right? So if you're attached to things, of course, you want to have it for yourself. And the moment you want to have something for yourself, you end up feeling bad if it is shared. You understand? So I think it is a problem with attachment.
It's a brilliant way of putting it.
It's a problem with attachment. everything you are attached to, you don't want to share. So if you set people free, you are not attached, you will not have problems like this, right? So it actually, this is the problem that a lot of people face in relationship and beyond. It is my own, it is mine, it is mine. You know, the moment we have this mentality, then is when we start having problems. But if we consider ourselves as society and everyone is part of it, then we realize that we end up being friendly to others and seeing others not as threat, but as part of a society and part of a system that can work with everyone in place.
And I think maybe just to add on something,
Please.
I think the first question that maybe you should ask yourself, who is the close friend? Because you find that sometimes the partner wants to hide the close friend. Now that is where the issue comes in. And then
Oh,
yes.
okay. It couldn't be maybe I'm afraid of your reaction.
No, I think if you had a good perspective towards that, then you wouldn't have a problem telling me that. But it becomes a problem when I personally find out that for sure you have a close friend. Then that is where the issue comes in.
Okay, Mark John, how do you
Yes.
relate with people?
I would say that every relationship should comprise of three things. First, trust. Second, space. And third is giving or sharing. So first thing is we need to trust each other, right? If we want to have a relationship with someone and we keep checking the phone of the person the whole time, it is not going to make the other feel easy. And this is like we are trying to hold on to what we thought belongs to us, but everyone has their own life. So that's the second thing, space. So suppose that you draw two circles. This is your world, this is his or her world, and this is the common word, which is the intersection of the two circles. Then you need to allow the other to have their own private time. It's like a bird in your hand. If you hold it too tight, the bird is going to die. Of course, if you hold it too lightly, maybe the bird will fly away. So you have to have a proper way to hold the bird with you, but not too tight and not too loose. Relationship is based on distance, keeping proper distance and also giving space. And the last one is giving. So relationship is not about what you want to take to be happy, but it should be like what you can share to others so they feel happy. If the relationship is based on sharing, that is going to be a long-lasting one.
You're amazingly insightful. But what happens if I kind of miss the person? So I just wait, just don't be so pushy, give him some space, yeah?
Live in your own world. You know, you can't actually try to dig into the other person's world the whole time. You also need to have your own life. So the time that you can be together, then you have to be very committed to that time. Like, okay, maybe every weekend you will spend time together, both of you are going to be committed. But otherwise, it's your own time. You have your family, you have your parents, you have your own friends. Just spend time with them, spend time with your hobbies, and be yourself. You can't actually just hold the others by forcing them to love you, but the others will love you just who you really are. So you just be yourself.
That's important because there's a point where sometimes I feel I've met people who kind of lose themselves, and I think I'm kind of guilty of that too. You lose yourself into someone, like, okay, they like this, you don't kind of like it, but you want them to like you, so you just kind of
Change yourself.
Yeah, it's not necessary, is it?
No, just try to be yourself, and eventually the person who will truly love you will appear in front of you.
Okay, all right, so question number 2 up on your screens. Y254 on Facebook, at Y254 channel on Twitter, hashtag is YintheMorning. Put it up, please. Two. Is it okay to have premarital sex if you know you're going to marry the person? Okay, but how do you know you're going to marry the person? Let's start here. Have you ever looked at someone and said, that one looks like I'm going to marry her?
There's this term that people like to use, wife material. and I think it over time it's losing meaning.
Okay, wife material. What is this wife material like characteristics?
There are those attributes that you look at someone, then you're like, yeah,
I want
maybe.
the examples. Mm-hmm.
Okay, someone wants to be close to you at all times.
That's not a stalker, but okay.
Not a stalker, actually.
Mm-hmm.
A stalker will go behind your back and then come and tell you what the person knows about you later.
Have you been stalked before?
Not once.
Huh.
Yes.
You've been stalked more than once?
Not once.
Yeah. Girls can also stalk, eh?
Is it
What
a
happened?
secret? No, it's not a secret.
I am quite surprised.
I think they're smart at that.
They're smart at stalking?
Yes. And they can do that very, very well.
Wait, okay, so that's not what you're looking for in a wife, is it? No.
Yeah, no.
So what are you looking for in a wife?
As I was growing up, there are
Mm-hmm.
things that I used to hear about a lady.
Mm-hmm.
Being submissive,
Mm-hmm.
but again, sometimes it is overrated, because you don't expect somebody to be too submissive to you, and you don't look on the other side,
Okay.
which is sometimes also not a good idea.
All right.
Yes.
So let's paint a picture. So
Mhm.
she's lovely. I guess beauty is something that's important to men.
Which is in the eye of the beholder.
In your eye, she's beautiful.
Yes.
Yes. She's not a stalker, but
Mhm.
she wants to be with you. And she's submissive, but not to a fault. She has her own mind, though. She can speak for herself. So wife material. So is it okay to have premarital sex with this person because you know you're going to spend a very long time with her? In your opinion?
I think it should be the sole reason as to you guys coming together, because sometimes we lose the point. It's like we're not making it for an idea to have something more than just what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
Like now what we're talking about, to marry the person, and then we look at it like we just have that little time at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's worth to wait, then premarital sex is not a good idea.
Yeah, but okay, I'll come back to you. I have so many questions. You've seen that I'm berating you. I apologize. What do you think?
It's a very interesting question, but looking at it in a wider point of view.
Oh, sorry. I'd like you to share this mic, please. Yes, thank you. In fact, just give me this one.
Okay.
Thank you. As you were saying.
Looking at it in a wider point of view, you realize that we come from a nation or a world of many cultures. So there are different cultures that have different dictates. So what to do when people come together? Marriage in itself is just if you define it as an institution or as an authorized institution, so many cultures define what it constitutes. You understand? Like, for example, we have a Buddhist monk. They never get married. They don't get into relationships for as soon as they ordain, right? So the thing is, in my opinion, having premarital sex in, say, for example, our culture as Kenyans or many communities in Kenya would lead to problems, right? Because a lot of times, a lot of problems among the young people, especially because what is it that really drives you to do that? Is it the physical attraction, right? Is it sustainable? You understand? I see relationship as something that has a lot of things beyond this. You get, and there are so many problems that this can cause. Yeah, premarital pregnancy. You understand?
Can I just cut you short
Yes.
a bit? So we're talking about, as the question is framed, so it's premarital sex if you know you're going to marry the person. So what we're saying, is it okay if you know you're not going to marry the person? Because we're looking long term here, but if it was short term, then
Long-term,
it's okay.
Look at this. That question cannot stand because you can say that premarital sex if you're going to marry the person, because that is not known. You understand? Anything can happen anytime.
It's true.
It's true. So the thing is, look at the problems or challenges that this can cause. One, if this lady gets pregnant, for example, and they end up not getting married, she's in trouble or he's in trouble. A lot of men will probably run away. You understand? It can bring financial issues. So the disadvantages of this kind of arrangement are so much more than the physical satisfaction. You understand? So I would probably advocate for having the institutions established first before you engage in premarital sex that can cause possible trouble. So I think it depends on what someone feels, but there are a lot of disadvantages that this can cause to the individuals. You see a lot of young ladies who are pregnant or have babies without fathers. What contributes to this?
No, they have fathers, it's just that they're not there.
Who are responsible,
Yeah.
you're right. So what caused this? Probably they felt as if they are going to marry these people, or they're going to be married by these people.
Or they were told they were going to be married,
Exactly.
and they believed.
And they think. So you see, this is a question that can be answered from both ends. And what did it cause?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask you this question. I want to ask you the next one. Is that all right?
Okay.
All right. The next question, please. What do you do when you have to have a hard conversation with someone? That's a very good question. Yeah. What if you have to maybe express yourself? Let's put a spin on it. I personally have a problem saying no. I just don't like it. I don't like confrontation if I can avoid it. But when push comes to shove and I have to say my piece and I have to say no, how would you advise me to do it?
First of all, every time that we communicate with someone, we have to be able to express our feeling to the person. Any conversation that is out of anger or just that we want just to win over the conversation is not going to convey the message. So if you need to convey your message to certain someone, then you need to understand that first, the message must be true. Second, it must be useful. And third, it must be appropriate. And third, it must be also delivered in a very peaceful and polite manner. So if you can do it this way, the message will go right to the person's mind, and that will not leave any violence to it.
Have you, okay, I don't want to ask, have you never been upset? Has someone never upset you to the point that you just want to just pick some words from the dictionary that are not so good and just give it to them? What do you do then? Do you still have to, the useful and for real?
That's the meaning of mindfulness. Basically, I still get angry. If you make me feel angry, I get angry. But how I react with my anger has changed. So an ability to control your mind from the reaction, from the things that people say to you, and then you started to react or to say something back, is called mindfulness. If you are able to be more mindful, you'll be understand that every words that you say will lead to consequences, and you are going to be more careful not to say one word, because friendships can take years to build, but only take one word to destroy.
That's true.
So we be more careful, and eventually our conversation is based on love and compassion.
It's interesting what Monk John has said. All words that you say has consequences, positive and negative. So if you go reference to the previous question, all actions that you do also have consequences. So it's upon you to evaluate. A lot of people do things without evaluating the pros and the cons. If you see things more clearly, you'll be able to look at the consequences of actions and be able to make a more clear decision. Yes.
I like that. And as we come to you, I've come to understand that hurt people are going to hurt people. So if someone is coming at you hurtfully, if they're on purpose saying things that might affect you and your mindset or your spirit, intention of hurting you, then they're also hurt. So how would you respond to that?
Okay, the first thing that I can say about that is that two wrongs can never make a right.
Today people have wisdom.
So the moment you come to me, yes, you hurt. If your intention is to hurt me too, then you are not going to get it right, because you'll provoke my anger and I will spill out whatever that I might say, just the same way you are saying, picking words from the dictionary that might not be pleasing. Then that means that I'll be angered. Furthermore, I will not have helped you. I'll make you more angry. The solution won't be there. And by the time you'll have your own time, that's when the things will be now downloading. Right now, the other time you were uploading them on someone's mind, now they're being downloaded back.
All right, let me upload the next question for you, okay? Yeah, Y254 on Facebook. How much alone time does one need? Hey, this is a very relevant question, because you can find, okay, now you see I'm just going to use myself as an example again. I hope you guys don't mind. So during the week, it's kind of hustle and bustle. It's busy, yeah, productive but busy. And then over the weekend is usually my time to chill. Like I could do an activity or three, but very slow, or according to the way my mind is kind of vibrating at the time. But this particular weekend, I've given so much of myself. I feel like I need to retreat and have alone time. But how much alone time does one really need? Monk John. Yes.
Actually, I would say that if you define your purpose of life, then it is clear how much time you're going to spend on certain activities. For example, if my life is about discovering my inner peace, so I could spend as much time to myself so that I can find that inner peace through the practice of meditation, and then I can also share with others. So my master gave me a formula that I should spend 50% of my time for myself and 50% of my time for others, in a way that when I discover peace for myself, I can also share with them another half of my time. There is no like how many hours you need for yourself during a week or something like that, but you need to be able to be alone. If anyone cannot be alone and they require others to be around them all the time, then they cannot find their own inner peace. They always depend their happiness on others. It's like, I have to be with someone to be happy. I have to do this with someone to be happy. But your happiness should not depend on others to make you feel happy, and you should actually be with yourself to be happy.
I like that, and I'm glad you picked it up because you're next. So alone time, sometimes I've seen people translating it as someone is lonely, and I think those are two different things. And also the other flip side is, recently I've been getting a lot of people telling me that they're having anxiety attacks. The question is, alone time is inner peace, right? Or kind of trying to discover or attain.
If I could add something more.
Yes,
there is one quote saying that a leader is a person who are able to stay alone and can also share to others. It means that the more you are happy with yourself alone, the more you can share with others.
Oh, I like that. Would you like to touch on the anxiety issue?
Anxiety.
Yeah.
You see, what happens is, especially when you say in relation to someone being alone, is it?
Kind of, yeah.
I think being like Monk John has said, being alone, people interpret it differently, and also depends on what makes you want to be alone, right? You know, some people might have problems in their own lives that they seek to be alone in their own spaces. One, to run away from problems, which is not recommended, right? Because sometimes you can have conversation with people to solve problems. So in my opinion, I think being alone, I cannot say it is bad or good, but it depends on what makes you want to be alone. And also people generally seek approval from their environment. Validation and approval, right? So some people who don't believe in themselves so much, they would thrive in a group whereby if they do something and someone says this is cool, then they will do it again, right? So such people,
and if no one sees you,
those are the people that would be so anxious, so depressed if they're in their own spaces because they are not validated. You understand? So if people can be able to discover themselves, be who they really are, right? Be true to themselves first. They will not have problems with being alone. And people that tell others that they are lonely for being alone, right, are probably people that thrive more in groups.
Oh.
Right? So they people generally, if they want to give their own solution to others. We're in a community where so many people experience different things.
That's true.
Right? And what happens is, my best solution is the thing that I recommend to the next person. So if I see you, if when I'm depressed, I like talking too much, I'll ask you to talk, right? And if I'm depressed, I like to be quiet, I'll tell you to be quiet about it, right? So generally, when someone advises you or tells you that, oh, you are lonely because you're alone, it means that's how they feel when they're in that space, and that is someone else's reality must not be everyone's reality. So I think
I really like
this
that,
space,
man. Yeah.
in everyone has their space. They have to choose how they lead their lives depending on how it will develop them. So first, self-search, seek to know yourself, develop yourself. Then is when you'll know your space in the community and what it is you need and what it is you don't need. And the community, people around you, should not really dictate so much of how you lead your life, because you won't be leading your life but their lives.
I would want to touch on it and then start with your closing remarks. We're seeping out of time.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out what the person who asked this question, what the person had in mind, being alone. You see, there's this big problem that some people take it as a defense. When there's an issue, they're like, I want to be alone. So my thought is that these are two people who have issues. And one is trying to seek the other person's attention on, why are you doing this and this? Or rather, there are so many issues that have come up. And then the other person is like, no, I have so much running on my head and I want to be alone. So I think that is basically what this person had in mind. Yeah. So it depends on the person who really wants to be alone. First of all, what brought you to the situation?
Okay.
Yeah, because when I want to be alone, that means that there is something that is really in my mind that I can't handle it with someone. And now it's like, now I'm seeking for my personal insights towards it. Yeah, so it will depend on the opposite side. Will you bring the person close enough to feel like, yeah, I can now share it? Sometimes it can take even 2 minutes.
Okay.
Sometimes it goes up to days.
That angle. It's true. Sometimes it can take years.
Yes.
All right. So what would you like to advise someone who's out there watching us, just in general, about, I don't know, loving themselves? Is it weird for a guy to say they love themselves? I'm quite fine saying it.
I'm very sure very few guys love themselves.
Oh.
And I think my mind tells me that for a guy to love himself, that means that the guy has someone who he's very confident when expressing himself to. Then that is loving himself.
Isn't that a beautiful thing? Why wouldn't you want that, guys? Come on. Okay, but we're running out of time.
Loving yourself is for the ladies, not for the guys.
Do you agree with that statement? It's heavy.
Interesting. I look at the word love as a big thing. With the moment one says that I love myself, it's in comparison to what? Say, who don't I love? Right? So if you look at it generally, love should be universal. You know, we are all connected. We are a community. The moment I say I love myself, it means I put myself first before someone else. And in a community where we should interact and support each other, love should be common amongst us. So I think we should just love. Love should just exist. So an advice that I would give to people who are watching, for example,
there's your camera.
You guys should first discover yourself, learn to know yourself. A lot of times people just want to correct others. Like, I want this, I want this, I want this, right? But you want to, a lot of young people want to change the world. That person should change, these people should change. And if everyone is pointing finger outside, so who is pointing finger inside? So the moment you change the blame to take a role in the community and the society that you live in and make yourself change fast before the others, it will be a ripple effect. Everyone will be taking responsibility and not pointing fingers out. So let's discover ourselves, learn more about ourselves, and then we will be able to affect the society positively.
I'm coming to learn the opposite, or rather the male version of when I say I love myself, you say I have discovered myself. I know who I am. That's
That's what you mean by you love
yeah,
yourself.
yeah. It sounds too feminine to say love. Okay, Mokhtar, would you like to give maybe your last
Yes.
2 cents?
Basically, love, the direction of love should be this way and not this way. A person who learn to love himself first will work on himself first, and then when he has improved himself, changed maybe some flaws, some bad habits, then he is ready to give love in this direction. If the love will be initiated from this direction, it is not going to sustain, because eventually you're going to beg others to love you the whole time. But you should actually be yourself, and you are able to love yourself in the way that you don't actually care what other people will think about you. In the way that it doesn't mean that you don't change yourself at all, but you know, you are so confident that now you are worthy of being loved, and eventually those who are worthy for you will appear in front of you.
Ooh, I cannot add or take away from that comment. Oh my gosh, you are worthy, king and queen. You are worthy for love. Discover yourself, king, queen. Love yourself, and you are worthy. You are, hey, can we say that again? You are worthy. Y254 on Facebook, at Y254 channel on Twitter. Hashtag is YintheMorning. You can get this interview again at Y254 channel on YouTube. Now we gotta go, guys, but I really hope to see you guys again soon. You're so cool.
It's okay, we'll come back.
These vibes have been different and amazing. Wow. Please don't go. Okay, but we finished. So we'll see you tomorrow, Money Making Tuesday. All right. Bye.